Hi again, this is Josh Carr, and today I'd like to talk to you about the transpose function. This is a question I get in almost all of the classes that I teach. Someone will come to me and say, I have a stream of cash flows, like we see here, year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've got some cash flows, and someone, for whatever reason, has decided that they would like to take numbers that are going in a horizontal fashion, and they'd like them to go vertical, or vice versa, and they need to move the data. And maybe it's just the world has a sense of humor, but whenever I get information, it always seems to be going in the wrong direction for whatever financial model I'm trying to build. This is a really easy problem to solve. Now, a lot of people for this will use copy-paste special. Copy-paste special transpose will work, but the problem is that if I were to do a copy-paste special transpose, it would change the direction of the numbers, but it wouldn't link them together. So if I, for example, said, I'm going to take these 6 cells, and I were to copy them, and I were to go down here and do paste special transpose, that would change the direction of the data, but if I changed one of these values from 10 to, say, 11, it doesn't update down here. So that's a good idea, but you'd have to redo it every time you change the information up top, and that would get really annoying, and it's pretty much a guarantee that you'd forget eventually, and then you'd print out the wrong thing, and that would be bad because your numbers wouldn't be linked. So how do I get the stuff up top to go down bottom? Now, whenever I do this, a lot of people think, well, couldn't you just, again, copy, go down a little, go to paste special transpose, and press the paste link button? The problem is that the paste link button goes away when you click transpose, but yet when you uncheck it, it comes back. It seems almost like the people at Excel have a sick sense of humor, and they think, well, if you want to transpose, I'm not going to let you do it, but if you uncheck it, I will. So how do we transpose and paste link at the same time? Well, here's the thing. Excel was not written by one person. It was written by a team of people. So while there was one person who said, I'll be darned if I let you do it, there was someone else who said, I'm perfectly fine letting you do it, but I'm not allowed to do it in a normal place, so I have to do it in a weird place. So here we go. Instead of highlighting the 6 cells where we're starting from, we're going to do it in a backwards fashion. We're going to highlight the 6 cells where we're going. Again, this is a little, well, backwards, but bear with me. I then type transpose open parentheses. When I do transpose open parentheses, it asks me for an array. An array is a fancy way of saying cells that are next to each other. I could take these 6 cells, I could highlight them, I could also type in D8 colon I8. I then close parentheses, and here's the fun part. If I do Control Shift Enter, again, Control Shift Enter, it takes the 6 cells that were going in a horizontal fashion and it makes them go in a vertical fashion. Let me do that again. Again, highlight where I'm going, in this case 6 cells because I'm doing 6 cells, equals transpose, open parentheses, highlight the 6 cells in question, close parentheses, Control Shift Enter, and it takes the information and changes direction. And it does a really nice job. Now, a couple points to make. The first point to make is that if instead of doing 6 into 6, I had done like 6 into 7, that is to say, I had highlighted too many cells and did a transpose, then we get some NA errors in the final 2 cells. Obviously not what we want. Sometimes I do this because someone will say to me, well, wait a moment, I don't want to count all the cells. I don't know if I have 10 cells, 20 cells, 30 cells. So I just say highlight more than you need, and if you have extra, you'll have NA errors, and then you can at least mark how far you need it to go, and then you could trim it down and do it again. The other weird thing about this function is if I were to do this, you'll notice up in the formula bar that we see these braces. Depending on your resolution, you'll see the braces, maybe you won't. In other words, it's doing this, and your formula bar should look like that. The braces are Excel's way of saying that you have an array formula, basically, which is a fancy way of saying these cells are married to each other, which is a fancy way of saying that these cells, because they are now married to each other, if I try to delete one, it'll throw up an error that says you can't change part of an array. In any event, transpose function, it changes the direction, but be aware that the braces do lock these cells, marry these cells together to each other. So once you've done it, you can't go deleting a cell, you can't go inserting a row. Basically, it's a unit. So if you want to get rid of it, you have to highlight it and then delete it as a unit. In any event, I use transpose function all the time. I often find that people like to build mortgage schedules going top down and cash flow statements going left right, and this is just incredibly useful in my work. Definitely a lot better than taking a 300-month amortization schedule and going from horizontal to vertical. Because while I'm not a betting man, I will bet you that if you do 300 months and you try to do this 300 times, you're going to make a mistake. So use the transpose function. For this and other useful tips about real estate and financial modeling, feel free to visit my website at carrealestate.com. That's K-A-H-R realestate.com. And if you have any suggestions for additional videos, please let me know. Thank you very much.